Right, let's focus on United now, because Clinton, their chief executive officer, I should say, Omar Barreda, has said that they can win the title by 2028. Can they do that? 3 years?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If I was sitting here now looking at their squad, and I'm not quite sure. But listen, 3 years is a long time. If they improve the squad and get rid of the players that they don't want there and improve it, the signing of Cunha is a very good signing. If they can get Mbuemo, but you never know, with Thomas Frank going to Tottenham, he could end up going there. I think that's another positive signing. So, yeah, maybe 3 years. I'm not quite sure. It might be 5 years. But 3 years is... He's got to say that, because you've got to appease the Man United fans. Man United fans have suffered a lot recently and they want to get back to challenging for the title. So, yeah, maybe 3 years, but I'd say probably 5 years.
Every time they change manager, they seem to say 3 to 5 years. And then just change manager and it goes again. They probably need to do it sooner rather than later. Here's their start to the season. What do you make of that? We've not seen this yet in full.
No, yeah, Arsenal at home is a tough game. Fulham away is going to be tough. Marco Silva, I thought Fulham were good last. Burnley at home, you would expect them to get 3 points. The Manchester derby, tough. Chelsea at home, Brentford away. They're all tough, Tom. They're all tough. You look at that and probably say, not being disrespectful to Burnley, but Burnley's the only probably given where you think Man United could go and get the 3 points at home. But last season at home, Man United weren't that good. So they will improve, though. Man United won't be like how they were last season. They will improve. And it's a big season for this Ruben Amorim. He made loads of excuses last season. I don't want to see excuses. I want to see Man United producing and picking up points.
You mentioned Matheus Cunha being a great signing for them. Thereafter, Brian Bremo as well. Could he potentially be a great signing for them if he doesn't get tempted perhaps by Spurs now Thomas Frank's gone there?
Yeah, he's a great signing for whoever. I'm surprised a lot of the bigger teams are not looking at him as well. In particular, I thought Newcastle might look at him, but you can understand why Man United want him. I thought Mbuemo, his numbers and his assists alongside Wissa last season at Brentford was fantastic. He will leave Brentford. I think Brentford have already accepted he's going to leave. But the thing is, with Thomas Frank and the way he produced and played under him, it's going to be difficult. So he might end up going Tottenham, and it'll be a huge blow to Man United.
When it comes to Cunha, earlier we were saying that Omar Barreda has said that Cunha can be a little bit like Eric Cantona. I'm sure he doesn't think that level. I hope he doesn't think that level.
Yeah.
But can you see any similarities? Can you see why he would say that?
I know why he says it, because he can lose his head just like that. and that's what's happened. But he's a top player, though. He is talented, Cunha, but I don't think he should compare him to Cantona. That's too much pressure on Cunha. Cantona was the real deal, unbelievable player. But I think it's the fiery side of him where he can get involved in a lot of stuff. He did that last season. I think he's gone to Man United. I think he'll have to knuckle down. He's at a big football club, but I think he's a good signing. He can play in one of them number 10 roles, and he's a clever footballer. I thought Arsenal might have gone in for him, and that's how highly I rate Cunha. So I think it's a good signing for Man United.
So we know that in the next 3 years they want to win the Premier League, but next season, where can Man United realistically finish? Where do you expect them to finish?
They should be aiming to finish in the top 10. They're lucky that the teams were so bad the 3 teams last season were bad, because they would have been in a relegation dogfight. But obviously, you look at it now and you think Man United fans are going to want to be finishing in the top 6. I think that's what realistically they should be aiming for, but I'm saying probably top 10. Ask me again when they've done all their signings, when the window's shut, and then probably it will be the top 6 and try and win a trophy. But there'll be big pressure on Ruben Amorim. But I'd say to try and finish in the top 6 is Man United's realistic aim this season.
We'll ask you after deadline day.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, September 2nd.
Yes.
September 1st, deadline day.
Yeah. We'll just quickly switch from Manchester United to Tottenham, because I'm not sure if we've had you on since Ange Postecoglou won. What did you make of that decision and the decision to replace him with Thomas Frank?
I always thought it was coming. I did think it was coming with Ange. I thought, but fair play to him. He can go with his head held high. It's second season. He said he wins a trophy, and he has won a trophy. So, no, I think it'll be disappointing. But I think he'll get another job. But I'm happy Thomas Frank's there now, because I think he's a very good manager and deserves his chance. The job he's done at Brentford's been fantastic. He deserves a chance of going to a big club, and I think they'll do well.
Through the magic of TV, you've switched your iPad for football.
A football. I have done that because, just a reminder, we've got this ball today. It is the new ball for the Premier League season, and it's an absolute beauty. You had a little kick earlier?
Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
When I say little kick, it really was a little dribble along the ground.
Wasn't the greatest advert for the ball. But Clinton, what do you make of this?
It's nice, it's good. I thought Tom was going to ping it and see if it can move around.
But my mistakes,
be careful. I've played with you, you've got that technique. Well, don't put yourself down.
Thanks for that, I definitely don't. Right, coming up, we've got the...
Man United, opening day, Arsenal at home, also face Manchester City and Chelsea in their fixed 6. That's some start.
That's a crazy start. I'm not going to stand there and say, that's that's going to be the barometer of this season, because to have a start like that, you got to try and hit the ground running. So it'd be interesting. Fingers crossed they'll be able to go out there, get some positive results early doors, breed confidence, and then move on from there.
Yeah, how important is it? I know it's a tough start, but it feels like after the season they've just had, they have to start well under Ruben Amorim this season.
Yeah, I would believe that as well. But the crazy thing is, like you said, after a tough season last season, to start the season like that, it's mad. But I think that's where Manchester United are at the moment. But like I said, ultimately, all you can do is go out there, try your best, try and win football matches early doors, and then build confidence and build momentum.
When you were a player yourself, what fixtures were you looking for on the opening day when they were released? Which one were you always in the diary? That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Obviously, would have been our main competitors and Liverpool. Those are the games you always look forward to, the Liverpool game, because you knew, regardless what position they were in, you always knew you was going to have a tough game there. And me personally, I love playing at Anfield as well, so yeah, I really look forward to that. And like I said, the teams that are going to push you in the Premier League, you're looking out for those games. Obviously, back then it was Arsenal, and then later on it was Chelsea. So yeah, those are games me personally, I would have been looking forward to. But in saying that, when you're in the Premier League, you look forward to every game, because playing for a team like Manchester United, every game, was a big game.
Just going back to Ruben Amorim, obviously it was his first season. Where are you with him? Are you giving him time? Do you think he deserves the time to get it right with his system and everything that he tries to play with?
We all deserve time. I think as managers, when you go in as a manager, you got to be given time. And I know everyone wants a quick fix, but sometimes in football, things like that don't happen. Everything's a process. It takes time. And fingers crossed this season, it works out a little bit better for him than last season. But we'll have to wait and see. Everything, like I said, everything's a process.
How big's the transfer window for them?
The transfer window is big for everyone, because ultimately you've got to try bringing the right kind of players. You've got to try and improve your team, improve your squad. And it all depends what kind of players they're looking at, and what direction to try and go in as well. So yeah, I don't think it's any different than anybody else. You just want to improve. You want to get yourself in a better position than you found yourself in last season. So yeah, transfer windows are always very important. Just bringing in the right personnel.
Goals seem to be a problem, Andy. You knew where the back of the net was. Rasmus Højlund, we've seen them being linked with Brand and Buemo. Did they have to find a way of scoring more goals next season?
I was answer that exactly the same as well. All teams want to score goals, and in Manchester United's case, of course they need to score more goals. However you look at football, the more goals you score, the more matches you win, and that will never change. So yeah, they have to sort that problem out, get themselves more goals in the team, and hopefully they'll be able to do that, like you mentioned just there, transfer window, and bring in players in. It sounds like and looks like looking to bring in more players that are creative, can score goals. So yeah, I think they'll be okay.
Premier League legend Andy Cole on the day the Premier League fixtures have been announced, and you can see who your team will face throughout the season all on the Sky Sports website, and follow it all through on Sky Sports News today.